The Sonos Beam is a small form soundbar that was released back in July of 2018. It's kind of like the little brother to the Sonos Arc, except it's older, if that makes any sense. I can't believe it's already been 3 years since it was released. There are already lots of reviews on this system, but I wanted to put my take on it out there because it's still a great budget soundbar option that's available. What's up guys, Jonah Mathis here. I make videos on soundbars, home entertainment tech, and more. If you have a second, I'd really appreciate it if you'd smash the like button on this video. It would help my channel out tremendously. Let's get right into this. So all in all, the Sonos Beam really surprised me. It has a very nice compact design and a high quality build like most of the Sonos products out there. The top is slightly concave, which is pretty unique, and it uses touch responsive buttons. Most of the body is built with a higher quality plastic, and there's a fine cloth grille covering the front, sides, and back. I myself am not the biggest fan of cloth grills because I have 3 cats and their hair sticks to basically everything. Like other Sonos products, its connections are very simple. There's power, Ethernet for hardwiring it to your network, and an HDMI port that uses HDMI ARC. It also comes with an HDMI to digital optical adapter in the event that your TV doesn't have an HDMI ARC port. The Sonos Beam is a little over 25.5 inches in length, which is 20 inches shorter than the Sonos Arc. It definitely looks kind of odd on our massive entertainment center in the living room, but I can imagine that it would look much better with a smaller TV and smaller entertainment center. It does have 2 mounting holes on the very bottom that can be used to mount it to your wall or directly to your TV if you use the proper mount. You don't have to use Sonos's mount, by the way. There are tons of third-party options available. The Sonos Beam is a 3-channel soundbar, so there's a dedicated left, center, and right channel. On each end, there's a passive radiator pointed out at an angle. These try to improve upon the overall soundstage, and I'd say that they do a pretty decent job of it. But we'll go into detail on that a little bit later. Just like the Sonos Arc, the Sonos Beam has built-in microphones, where you can integrate Amazon Alexa or the Google Assistant. It seems to work well, but I didn't extensively test this because we have other Amazon Echo devices in our living room. Just like all but 2 of Sonos's products, it doesn't have Bluetooth capability. If you want to stream music to your soundbar, you can attach your music services of choice to the Sonos app, use Spotify Connect, or use AirPlay if you have an Apple device. Also, it does not come with a remote control. You can control the volume using your TV's or media player's remote control, and you can adjust any and all of its settings through the Sonos app. I'll be honest, I kind of debated with myself when deciding to make this video or not. I've mainly reviewed high-end soundbars, with the cheapest one being the Nakamichi Shockwave Pro, which is $750. So with the Sonos Beam only being $400, I knew my quality expectations would need to be slightly lowered. I've actually had this soundbar for around 6 months now, but I was so busy with other videos and my full-time job that I never really got around to making a video on it. Exciting news, by the way, I've actually left my full-time job and I'll be making videos and building websites full-time now. I couldn't have done this without all of the support from you guys, so I really appreciate all of you watching my videos. Sincerely, thank you. I'm not going to get detailed about the setup process for this because if you've seen any of my videos on other Sonos products, it's basically the same exact thing. Sonos products are extremely simple to set up and configure. All you have to do is open the Sonos app on your mobile device and it will walk you through the entire process. To get audio to the Sonos Beam, connect an HDMI cable from the soundbar to the HDMI ARC port on your TV. You could also use the digital optical adapter if you'd like. I do want to clear something up really quick though. In my previous videos on the Sonos Arc, I don't think I was very clear on using an Android device with Sonos products. You can use an Android device to set up and control any Sonos product out there. The only features that aren't available on Android that are available on Apple iOS or iPad OS devices are TruePlay tuning and AirPlay 2. That's it. Other than those 2 features, Android devices can fully control and use the Sonos app. I want to add something else about the Sonos app. When changing out my Sonos Arc to the Sonos Beam, it took entirely too long to remove the Surround 1 SLs and subs from the Arc. It was the most that I've ever struggled with the Sonos app and was very frustrating. It took like 2 to 3 minutes to remove each individual speaker from the Sonos Arc system. You know, I did this because I wanted to test what the Sonos Arc and just the Sonos Beam without any subs or surround speakers in play. Very frustrating thing I had to go through, but I wanted to throw that out there. For sound quality, I was initially kind of concerned that it wouldn't fill the room near as much as the Sonos Arc, which is definitely true. but the sound it produces in our large, semi-open living room is still extremely impressive. Here's how our living room is set up. When facing the TV, it's only open on the right side, so any sound trying to reflect off the right side of the room is kind of lost in open space. However, I was actually blown away when I cranked the volume up when watching some high-action movies, specifically Avengers: Infinity War. Dialogue was very easy to understand, even with all the explosions and background noises going on. I tested with speech enhancement on and off, but I think I like it more with speech enhancement on. I sometimes struggle to isolate what people are saying when there's a lot going on, so turning speech enhancement on made it much easier for me. The mid-range and high-end frequencies are actually very clear. I couldn't identify much distortion occurring even when it was extremely loud, which is definitely a great sign. There were some moments where the higher frequencies would sound tinny, but it was honestly less than what I experienced with the Sonos Arc, which was very surprising. The sound filled the room much more than I thought it would. I didn't think a soundbar this compact could actually fill a space as much as it did. And just because sound filled the space doesn't mean it sounded amazing. It's kind of hard to explain. You can hear the sound filling a room, but it's not very full sounding, if that makes any sense at all. Now the bass is kind of non-existent, like you get some glimpses of it, but it's really just not there. There's no punch or feeling to it at all. I noticed more bass when playing music than I did when playing movies and watching TV, which I thought was kind of strange. Anyways, you can't really expect a soundbar this small to produce any meaningful low end or bass. It's Acoustics 101. What's unfortunate is that if you wanted to add a wireless sub to this system, it would cost you almost double what the soundbar cost, which doesn't make any logical sense. You might be able to find a used Gen 1 or Gen 2 Sonos sub for a decent discount, but you'd still be paying anywhere from $300 to $600 to get a Sonos sub that would bring the bass of this system to a pretty exceptional level. Now I mentioned the angled passive radiators on each end earlier, and I want to explain more in detail what they're trying to do. They're trying to widen the soundstage of this soundbar by bouncing sounds off the walls or extending the area that the sound travels. So instead of sound coming from directly in front of you, there's some of the left and right channels that are kind of coming at a wider angle. The performance of these will greatly vary depending on the room size, shape, and layout. So it's hard to say exactly how well this will work in your specific room. In general, I think the Sonos Beam will perform extremely well in small to medium-sized rooms that are closed in or not too open. If you have a large open room, then you might want to go with a different soundbar that's bigger and has more speaker drivers. It works extremely well in our living room, even though it's open on the right side of the room. And it sounds even better in my studio space, which is, this room right here. This is a 10-foot by 11-foot room that's completely closed in. The Sonos Beam blew me away in this space. There are some modifications you can make to the Sonos Beam's audio in the Sonos app. Most importantly, of course, is TruePlay tuning. This uses a compatible Apple iOS or iPad OS device to tune the soundbar to your room using the mobile device's microphones. When doing this with the Sonos Arc, I noticed a pretty substantial difference, but didn't notice much of a difference with the Sonos Beam. It makes it sound slightly better, but it wasn't a huge improvement for my living room. Again, your mileage may vary here. I've already mentioned the speech enhancement mode. With this turned on, it enhances the dialogue of whatever is playing. I actually enjoyed keeping this on, but this is my personal preference. Then there's night sound mode. This makes the quiet sounds louder and the louder sounds quieter. Great if you're watching a movie, at night and you don't want to wake anyone up. And as always, there's some basic EQ adjustments, but it doesn't give you control over any specific frequencies. I still like the cleanness and how easy to use the Sonos app is, but I wish they'd give us a little more control over everything like some other manufacturers do. And they definitely need to improve the speed of moving other Sonos speakers around in a system, because what I had to go through was absolutely ridiculous. You can't really expect too much for a simple $400 soundbar. But I 100% think the Sonos Beam is worth it for the price. Yes, you don't get a wireless subwoofer included like some other $400 soundbars, but I think the soundbar alone blows away many other budget soundbars out there. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, please make sure you tap the like button before going about your day. Now that I'm doing this full time, I'm trying to expand my social media presence just a little bit, so if you use Instagram, give me a follow at JonahMathis_YT. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.